In a windswept training camp nestled in the rugged hills of northern Canada, under the gray skies of October 2027, the air carried a chill that cut through uniforms. The soldiers' boots crunched on frost-covered gravel, their laughter sharp and mocking. Among them was Elise Carter, a logistics tech with a faded jacket and a canvas tool bag slung over her shoulder. Her transfer papers labeled her as support staff, nothing more. Nobody asked about her past, they didn't care. But her quiet presence, brown hair tied back tightly, no makeup, no jewelry, made people glance twice. They called her the janitor behind her back, snickering over coffee in the mess hall. "She's probably here to polish boots," one soldier sneered. Elise kept her head down, her fork moving steadily, as if the whispers didn't reach her. One morning, during a weapons drill, a cocky recruit named Harris mocked her as she knelt to fix a jammed rifle. "What's she gonna do, scrub it clean?" he jeered, his buddies laughing. The drill sergeant, a grizzled man named Kessler, barked, "Logistics girls don't touch combat gear." Elise ignored them, her fingers moving with precision. In 7 seconds, the rifle clicked back to life. The range fell silent. Kessler's eyes caught a faded patch on her jaqueta, coiled serpent, whispered to belong to a covert unit wiped from Pentagon files 5 years prior. He looked away, jaw tight, as if he'd seen a ghost. Harris shifted, staring at the ground. Elise handed the rifle to the range officer, her face blank, and walked off, her boots echoing on the icy concrete. Days later, in the armory's dim back room, Elise sorted through a crate of faulty scopes. A group of soldiers, led by a loudmouth named Travis with a new tattoo, lounged nearby. "Look at her, playing with toys like it's a game," Travis scoffed, mimicking her careful movements. The others chuckled, but Elise didn't pause. She picked up a scope, checked its alignment, and set it down, functional. Travis leaned closer. "Bet she thinks she's building rockets." Elise met his gaze, her voice calm but cutting. "This scope's off by 3 degrees. You'd miss a barn." The laughter died. Travis's grin faltered, and the room felt heavier, the soldiers exchanging uneasy glances. The rifle incident lingered. Kessler cornered Elise outside the armory, his voice low and sharp. "Fixing a gun doesn't make you a soldier, Carter. Step out of line again, and you're back stacking crates." Elise stopped, her bag over one shoulder. She turned, her eyes steady. "I fixed it. That's the job, isn't it?" Kessler's face tightened, but he said nothing, pointing toward the barracks before storming off. A soldier nearby whispered, 7 seconds. "Who does that?" During a late-night gear check, a cocky corporal named Vance burst into the armory with his crew, his ego bruised from a failed promotion. "The cleaning lady's at it again," he sneered, kicking a crate. His buddy tossed an empty can toward her workbench. It clattered against a rifle. Elise picked it up, set it aside, and kept working. Vance leaned in, his breath sour. "You don't belong here, Carter. Go fold laundry." She glanced at the rifle in her hands. Triggers stiff. "You'd be dead before you fired." With a clean snap, she fixed it. Vance stepped back, his bravado gone, and his crew at a range trial for new rifles. Elise signed up to shoot. The armory chief, a wiry man named Dawson, smirked. "Never held a live weapon, have you?" A soldier named Riley, sporting a shiny watch, snapped a photo of her with the rifle and posted it online with a caption, "First time with a gun. Don't break it." The crowd laughed. Elise checked the rifle's balance, her fingers sure, and stepped to the line. An officer named Pierce waved her off. "Back of the line, Carter. This isn't for logistics." She set the rifle down, her gaze locking with his for a moment. Something in her eyes made him hesitate. Then she walked away. The story spread like wildfire. By noon, the base buzzed about the logistics girl who thought she could shoot. That afternoon, a thick fog rolled in, blanketing the training field. A simulation went haywire, visibility, no laser aids. Rifles misfired, shots went wild. Elise, not scheduled, stepped up when a weapon jammed. Pierce snorted. "You'll scratch it." She ignored him, adjusted the scope by feel, and fired 5 shots. The monitor lit up 5 perfect hits. Pierce muttered, "Only Serpent or Cobra units train like that." The Serpent patch on her jacket caught the light as she handed back the rifle, and the soldiers went quiet, one stepping back like he'd seen something forbidden. In the mess hall that evening, Elise sat alone, her sandwich half-eaten. A soldier named Mara, all sharp wit and sharper makeup, leaned back. "Heard she's got some fake scar," she said, smirking. "Probably tripped over her own ego." The table laughed. Elise's fork paused, then she took another bite. Mara pressed louder. "What's next, Carter? You gonna say you stopped the tank with a hairpin?" Elise stood, folded her napkin, and passed their table. "Your holster's loose," she said, her voice even. "Fix it before you shoot yourself." Mara's hand flew to her side, finding the loose strap. The laughter stopped cold. In the locker room, as Elise changed after the simulation, her shirt lifted, revealing a jagged scar across her ribs. Mara laughed. "What's that? A paper cut?" The others joined in, their voices bouncing off the lockers. "Probably drew it on to look tough," one said. Rumors spread she was faking a combat past. The next day, an officer named Holt suspended her from technical duties, citing identity verification. Elise nodded, her face unreadable, and left. In the window's reflection, her fingers brushed the scar before she moved on. A week later, during a gear inspection, a captain named Langston, his medals gleaming, strutted in with an entourage. "You're wasting space, Carter," he boomed. "Go sort socks." His soldiers snickered. Elise adjusted a vest strap, her hands steady. "This stitching's frayed. It'll rip in a fight." She held it up, exposing his oversight. Langston's smile froze, and he stormed out, his crew scrambling after him. The base's tech officer, a nervous man named Greer, checked Elise's file. The screen flashed red. "Classified level black, Joint Command." Greer's hands froze. A colonel named Vaughn leaned over, his face paling. "I've never seen clearance this high," he whispered. An intelligence advisor, a woman named Klein, glanced at Elise, then left without a word. Greer muttered, "Only Serpent operatives get that encryption." The taunt stopped. Soldiers avoided her. Riley, the watch guy, wouldn't meet her eyes. During a live-fire drill, a sergeant named Burke mocked her clipboard. "Writing poetry, Carter?" She adjusted a struggling soldier's grip, his shot hitting dead center. To Burke, she said, "Your stance is off. Right foot back." His face reddened as he complied, silenced. The tension broke when a helicopter roared in, cutting through the dawn mist. General Nathan Cross, head of Allied Training Command, stepped out, his presence commanding silence. He strode past everyone, stopping before Elise. "Commander Carter," he said, saluting. "Didn't expect you to retrain incognito." Elise didn't salute back. "Needed to test myself after 5 years off," she said. The words hit like a grenade. Soldiers froze. Pierce's confidence crumbled. Cross smiled faintly and left, the chopper's roar fading. Elise's serpent patch gleamed as she walked off, head high. The next day, in a briefing, a lieutenant named Foster took a shot. "Carter, writing a novel in that log?" She slid it across, pointing to a discrepancy. "Your squad's rifles jammed 3 times. I fixed them." Foster's smirk vanished as the room refocused. A senior advisor named Grant, dripping with arrogance, stood. "If you're so great, why no honors for Operation Nightfall?" He scrolled through records, finding nothing. "Maybe you're hiding a dishonorable past." The room tensed. Elise sat, unmoved. Cross entered, plugged a USB into the console, and played a video. Grainy footage showed a battlefield, smoke rising. Elise, bloodied, dragged a wounded soldier 3 miles alone. The narration was cold. "Sole survivor. Declined all medals. Withdrew from service." Codename, Serpent Shade. The screen went black. Soldiers stood, saluting her as she left. In the armory, a young private named Ellis approached. "They say you're a legend. Is it true?" Elise adjusted a scope. "Legends don't fix scopes." He handed her a tool, and she took it, her touch steady. He left, standing taller. The fallout was swift. Kessler was reassigned to a desk job. Riley's mocking post vanished under a flood of backlash. Dawson lost his supplier contract. Mara was transferred overnight. None met Elise's eyes. In the barracks, a veteran named Cole, scarred and quiet, watched her polish a knife. 3 miles, he said. "He was my friend," she replied, her voice soft. The room felt heavier, soldiers pretending not to listen. One evening, a tall man in a plain jacket entered the armory. The soldiers outside stiffened. He stood beside Elise. "You good?" he asked. She nodded. Good, he said, hand on her shoulder. Her husband. Nobody dared look at him. Elise finished her work, and they left together, steps in sync. On her final day, a young soldier named Lena approached. I want to be like you, she whispered. Elise zipped her bag. Don't. Be better. She walked into the fog, leaving Lena rooted, a mission in her eyes. Years later, stories of the serpent shade lingered online, over coffee, in hushed tales. She didn't return. Some said she was back on the front lines. Others, training elites in forgotten methods. Her story wasn't about revenge, but truth, sharp and unyielding. What do you think? Did Elise hide her past to prove herself? Or was she forced into silence by a system that doubted her? Should she have fought the insults louder, or was her quiet strength enough? Drop your thoughts below, like, and subscribe to dive into more stories that cut deep.